Yo, what is good? We're here to talk about the Hori Fighting Commander Octa for the PS4, PS5, and PC. I ended up getting this because I entered into my first Tekken 7 tournament, and the tournament requires a controller or arcade stick that's wired, and so the Hori Fighting Stick Commander is wired, and it's going to be held on a PlayStation 4. And so I needed something that was compatible with a PS4. Nothing else that I had was everything is either for the Xbox, the Switch, or PC. I heard that the Fighting Commander was a pretty good controller, and it seems like it wasn't super expensive, so I ended up grabbing one of these. Some of the things that kind of made me interested in the Fighting Commander Octa is that it has a 6-button layout, so with Street Fighter 6 coming out pretty soon, this will be a good controller for that. And then Tekken only uses 4 buttons, like a 4-button layout, but you can also use in-game mapping if the game allows it to certain buttons, so those extra 2 buttons could potentially be mapped to something else. And so yeah, it just seemed like it's a controller that you can kind of grow into, and then it's got kind of niceties. The other thing is that on the controller itself, the D-pad is higher than the analog stick, and so like when I play fighting games, I like using the D-pad if I'm using a controller. Otherwise I'll use like the lever on an arcade stick. I don't like using analog sticks. I've just never been a fan of using analog sticks, but the analog stick on the Fighting Commander Octa is a short throw stick, so it's shorter than normal analog sticks on a controller, and it has an octagonal gate around it, and so that should help you hit diagonals a little bit better. And I think hitting diagonals is always the name of the game when using a controller or playing fighting games. And also the D-pad has different sensitivity levels, so you can kind of mess around with that and then kind of fine-tune the sensitivity to be somewhere closer that's easier for you in your fighting style. The face buttons use micro switches, so when you're clicking them, you can definitely hear the micro switches. Then just the normal buttons on a PS4 controller. The L buttons are on the right hand side, and then R3 and L3 are on the left hand side, and on the back there's just a slider for locking the buttons, and then you can change the mode for the type of console you're using the controller with. I used a Brook Wingman XB to connect the Hori Fighting Commander Octa to my Xbox Series X. Again, I wanted to have a controller that I could use on multiple systems, and I don't have a PS4 setup, so using the Brook Wingman XB made this super possible. You just have to connect it, plug it in, you should see the light turn solid, and then you'll be able to control the Xbox with the controller. And then I also set it to PC just to make sure. I don't know if that really makes a difference. I decided to play some Street Fighter Third Strike, just to kind of see how it feels using the 6-button layout. It definitely felt super consistent playing Street Fighter. I like playing with Elena a lot because her moveset's awesome. It's basically all kicks, and it's like half circles, quarter circles, and then Dragon Punch. So the inputs were very consistent, and I like that a lot. So yeah, when Street Fighter 6 comes out, I'll definitely probably be rocking the Hori Commander Octa, at least initially. And now the main event. So I really got this for the Tekken tournament. So playing Tekken 7 on an Xbox Series X, I was able to pull out the combos. Again, I tried changing up my grip to use multiple fingers on the Hori Fighting Commander Octa at the same time. And for the most part, the face buttons were good. Most inputs were good. Trying to hit diagonals was just crazy. So here's just capturing some of the dropped combos that I had because I couldn't get the diagonals working the way I wanted to. And again, I think I just need to work on the sensitivity of the D-pad and just find something that works better for me. But man, it was starting to get frustrating not being able to hit those diagonals. It's just like, come on, this is super easy on the Xbox controller. So now that I've messed around with the Fighting Commander Octa for a little bit, pros, what do I like about it? I do like the way that the Fighting Commander feels in your hand. It feels like it's sturdy. You're not gonna snap it in half. I can rest it on my lap fairly easily. And like I've discovered when playing fighting games that a lot of people who use controllers actually use multiple fingers on the controllers. So they'll kind of rest it on their lap and just kind of like poke at it like you would an arcade stick. So I've been messing around with that, and the Fighting Commander Octa is seemingly perfect for it. Older versions of the Fighting Commander Octa doesn't have this extra grip, and older versions of the Fighting Commander just have one grip on the left side where the actual D-pad or analog stick is, and then the other side just kind of looks like this, and so you can rest it on your lap fairly easily. So obviously the Octa does have the other grip on there, but I didn't feel like it's any kind of problem. I also like the buttons on the Fighting Commander Octa. I feel like there's good tactile feedback when you're clicking them. They're also like micro switches, so like you can hear them clicking when you're pushing them down. I did mess around with the analog stick a little bit. I do kind of like the short throw analog stick. It feels nice to kind of move it around. Another thing is the Fighting Commander Octa has switches on the back of the controller itself. You can lock the touchpad, or you can lock the touchpad and the system button, so like start and share. And so if you accidentally slide your hand a little too far and you hit like the start button or whatever, like you're not going to bring up the menu accidentally, and you're not going to slide your finger across the touchpad. And cons, what do I not like about this? So I think I probably have to play around with the D-pad sensitivity, because me trying to hit diagonals with this thing is fairly difficult right now. Like, it's very inconsistent and it's driving me crazy. I think I just have to play around and find the right D-pad sensitivity, or maybe I just have to get used to the way that the D-pad works on the Fighting Commander Octa. I think that's probably my biggest gripe. Going from using just the stock Xbox controller, this D-pad I really like a lot. I feel like I can hit diagonals more often than not. It's still unreliable, which is why I kind of wanted to shift to using an arcade stick. I do think the diagonals on the D-pad is probably like my biggest complaint. Like I said, everything else just seems fine. Like nothing really stands out. Everything else I actually do enjoy about it. It's just the damn D-pad and trying to hit diagonals consistently on it. Yeah, so not really a review of this. I just kind of wanted to put my thoughts about it out there since I'm starting to use it, and then we'll see at the end of the month whether or not this thing helps me in this tournament or not. Anyway, if you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Also, be playing Tekken on Twitch. So throughout the month, I won't be playing it consistently on Twitch, just kind of throughout the month. So if you're interested in like doing a lobby or jumping in and playing some games, please follow me over on Twitch. Or if you just want to come hang out, we play other games. I've been playing Breath of the Wild, and when Tears of the Kingdom comes out, I'm pretty much going to dedicate an entire week to just playing through that, streaming that like every night. But anyways, thanks for watching this, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next time, deuces.